Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Just checking in on a few things. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get a Dr. Pepper for the stream. We actually got 2 female great egrets in a store, so we're actually going to be able to add those to the great blue heron aviary, which is going to be cool. I think it will be plenty large for the 3 of them. We also need to do some calculations. Okay, so how's everyone doing today? Still loading in. I'm just trying to figure out how we can get the exact angle for a 5-degree ramp using 4-meter pieces. It's going to be tricky, but I've got an idea. I'm trying to figure out how to do proper ADA accessible ramps. So, pretty excited. But how's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? Glad to be done with the week. Right. 1 second so we can get this going. We start a poll. Just so Oh no, I've heard that might help with engagement. So we're going to do something that I'm going to do in a separate video as well, but I'm going to do it on stream as well. And that's going to be making an ADA accessible ramp. We're going to do this, and we're going to use math. So if we get to the Twilight Wood panels, this is our 1x2. I guess, actually I need to recalculate. That does make it easier, actually. If we make this 1 meter, that makes that 0.996, which is probably way too specific, but basically we shouldn't get it to be beyond . And that's kind of our ADA accessible ramp. So that gets us the is a little weird. I think we got it almost perfect. Now we just want to create it going down. We take this. Oh, no, we can't do it quite like that. This is always a little tricky. Let's try this. Right, let's grab this. this and bring it in line. Well, actually, I should have this be at the center point here. And then if that's extra there, that's no big deal. And then probably come down here. Ramps are something I have a very difficult time figuring out how I want. You know what? Don't want it like that. That's why. That's why. There we go. You want to leave room for turning. So it looks like we might need to get rid of this one. Which is fine. No big deal. And then we could just grab that, bring it this way. From this point on, the ramp's much easier. Not easy, but easier. It's a very tedious process. That's probably far enough down. We might bring it out this way a bit more. But I want a small aviary for our red-shouldered hawks there. Remove that from the group. Create that as one group. Probably want this leaning a bit more this way. So we can get those away. That will get us a closer look. Down. Feel like that makes sense? Is this a good angle? Still a little high. So what if we did this? Went one lower layer down. I feel like that's probably more in line with what we want to do. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want this to work. There's not like budget wheelchair lifts, right? You know what, there are. To save space, we're not going to do a ramp here. Because I don't think it makes sense. We'll do instead stairs. So let's grab let's see, what is a stair angle? $30. Perfect. All right, let's see how that goes. That doesn't feel like too many stairs, right? So like 1.5 with these boards. Let's see. Really a lot of scaling going on here. Thanks everyone for on YouTube for showing up. This is way more viewers than I'm used to, and we're probably doing one of the more boring things right now. feel actually like 2 times would make the most sense. So you go boom, boom. We delete that one. Yeah, that seems. Oh, hey, Zooforge. Yeah, working on an aviary. Trying. Well, if we will be working on an aviary. There's this going for great blue herons and great egrets will go in here, and then we're gonna have a red-shouldered hawk aviary over here, barred owl somewhere over here, and then the biggin for a bald eagle. I'm very excited for that one, but I don't think we're gonna start on that one just yet. Let's work on actually getting this. Yes, this is ZSU. So we've got a bunch of new species coming soon. Or you haven't seen, I mean, you've seen pictures of my zoo, but I'll give you a short little tour since we've got a couple people watching. This is the habitat we're working on. We've been working on recently. I still need to do decals for the pool, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like I kind of got the faded telephone pole color kind of matched pretty well. And then technically I still need to do a few things. Like I want a window, I think here, so I can get a window unit for if it's super, super hot. Technically the great blue heron should be good year round in the south, but with this area it could reach into the hundreds, so just in case. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is just a bunch of the, I think it's a bunch of Twilight, right? Yeah, bunch of Twilight framing. Kind of gives me railroad vibes, but here for it. And then this is the Baldwin family wetlands, which we've done some lore to get funding for through some of our viewers. But we've got wood ducks, mallards. We're eventually going to have ruddy ducks. They're sitting here for placeholder. We're eventually going to have little blue herons. They're also sitting there for placeholder. And eventually, western cattle egrets. What happened? We deleted something. How does this keep happening? This has happened twice now. Unless something's getting corrupted during... We also need to do a gate here, because But yeah, that's the Baldwin family wetlands. This is our aquarium building. This is... Oh yeah. That I do really like that. Ranch pieces, lots of ranch pieces. So, and then this was from the workshop. Did a whole set of kind of realistic nest, which I like. This is supposed to be for wood storks, but it's pretty close to great blue herons. But the LED end caps and then fixture pins. I feel like it gives it a modern feel to it. And this is probably one of the higher budget habitats. I mean, besides this one, this is definitely a high budget. Actually, this is probably one of the most high budget just because of the filtration setup that's required. So we got green herons, our hooded mergansers, and then filtrations back here, which game decided to lag. These are Callum's stuff here, but I made like a heat exchanger and a few other Like this would be an ozone chamber, and then this would be a protein skimmer. So I've been enjoying doing some backstages, and then different tanks that are mostly empty, except for this one, and I mean a couple others. Callum's fish have been instrumental in these. But basically all the river systems. You were helping me out with the signage in here, so this is kind of the signage in here. It's funny, when we went to the zoo, my zoo has something very similar to here. A little bit, doesn't show all the rivers in my zoo's one. But then we talk about don't dump toxic waste. And there's this habitat, which I really like, which I need to replace the signage in here because they've stopped using blueprints. This is, again, need to replace the signage. This is the prehistoric predators enclosure. So we've got alligator gar, bowfin, long-nosed gar, and shovel-nosed sturgeon, and eventually we'll have paddlefish as well. Yeah, no, it's based in southern Alabama, right around here, Dothan, which is kind of, it's an old historic town, so some of the buildings we have are kind of more historic. We need to work on in here, but gonna have a little bit of what life was like in Appalachia. This will be a walk-through tunnel for river otters, but that's not fully completed. Oh yeah, yeah, Lucas. All the fish are modded. Here's a beaver. They're not modded. So we've got a family of 4 beavers in here. Some little terrariums. There's nothing in there. Robustus has a snapping turtle. He's just got to put it on the workshop. Really like this sign. Thanks. Really like this sign, so I need to figure out how to. I don't want to make it out of font pieces, but I may have to. And then this is kind of the Appalachians over here. So this is kind of more your territory, Forge. I have some of the Steam Blueprint ones, like mainly for my smaller fish. It works great for small fish, but it doesn't work super well for larger animals. But for sunfish, it works pretty decently. And the amount of space required for modded fish to actually work. Yeah, Forge, this is the Appalachian Conservation Cabin. So it's a rotational yard similar to Denver Zoo's Predator Ridge, except it's wolves, coyotes, and black bear. But yeah, no, for sure. Oh, nice. Yeah. So we've got brook trout in here. Sort of an open top terrarium or aquarium there. We've got a pair of red wolves in here. I need to replace these with Cake's rhododendron mod because obviously that's what I intended for this to be. They might be in their other pen because they're meant to be a breeding pair for conservation reasons. They have access to a whelping pen, which is very much not finished. But yeah, of course they're both in their whelping pen, which the female would be quarantined to if she has had pups. But we've got a whole transfer gate system with shift doors and things. Just trying to see if our coyotes were in there. I didn't finish that. Oops. It looks like go to the backstage. Yes, we will be adding some barred owls. So we've got our black bears in here. This is probably one of my favorite habitats that I've built. Then we've got turkey vultures. I'm going to try and go briefly as possible. Got an American kestrel in there. We have a cougar in here, but unfortunately I deleted a rockwork group, I guess. Muskrats in here. But yeah, we're going to have barred owls and red-shouldered hawks. The red-shouldered hawks are going to have to be... Let's actually get back to working on this. Red-shouldered hawks are going to be... a prop piece that I'm going to have to design. Okay, Lucas, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, red-shouldered hawk, I'll have to modify a prop piece to be, but barred owl is a great case mod, so it will actually fly, which means we have to design its habitat large enough to do that. The good thing is red-shouldered hawks are not super active flyers. They are more ambush predators. So we don't have to give them a ton of flying space. Just enough that they can kind of swoop to grab like a feeder lizard or something. But yeah, the Appalachians are awesome. Forge. My grandparents lived in the Appalachians for a large part of my life. In North Carolina, in part of the temperate rainforest there. So I have a very particular love of the Appalachians. Yeah, I feel like that kind of... that's not that big of a distance to step up. I do think they might need to be a little tighter. So we'll probably add one stair. In all. Actually, never mind. Yeah, salamanders are awesome. Speaking of salamanders, so the cougar habitat also has the building for, it's called the Vernal Pools building, talking all about salamanders. So we have red salamanders in here. Hellbender is in here, which we need to finish the other wall. I don't know why we get this foggy effect. There she is. Then we've got a few other aquariums here for smaller salamander species. These guys aren't actually in the zoo yet, but yeah, so basically it's the lore of the zoo is it started off as like a animal rescue for like native species, because I live really close to our state park that has a native rehabilitation center, and then it kind of grew into like a full-scale zoo. Also need to finish the tiger salamander habitat. But this is the state amphibian of Alabama. It is only found in Alabama. In ZSU, I am the only holder of this species, so pretty proud of that one. I'm also the only holder of the reticulated flatwoods, which is no longer found in Alabama, but used to be. These are all empty, but this is kind of planned for some of the cave salamander species. This one's actually finished, but we've got a few other salamander species in here. I love working on terrariums. I think they're super fun. And this would be an epic viewpoint of the cougar if the rockwork was still in there. And half of the foliage. But we'll do that later. But since you said salamanders, it's pretty fun when you get to be the only holder of a species. I'm about to become the only species in mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately it's a 2.0 holdings, so I can't breed them. Actually, you know what? I'm not the only holder of the Red Hills salamander. There's another Alabama Zoo in ZSU that has it, but I'm one of two. I'm the only holder for the reticulated flatwoods and the green salamander, which the green salamander is wild. The reticulated flatwoods makes sense because there's only one real life holder, but oh yeah, okay. I read it wrong too, so that's not really your fault. Probably not. I started ZSU. Oh, when did my other one become? My other file that I had for my old zoo, I guess it would have been right at the Americas pack, because that's when my other zoo got corrupted, because I left it running overnight, and it was a franchise zoo, and it did not like that one bit. But yeah, so I didn't start till the Americas pack really came out. I mean, I've been out of Planet Zoo for a while. I took a break from Africa DLC to Zookeepers DLC, basically. Oh, cool thing about salamanders is that yeah. Cool thing about salamanders is I know someone who works at our local state park. So I got to get a backstage tour of the interpretive center. Got to see some really cool tiger salamanders. She specifically does does salamander education and stuff. So that's I don't know. That's fun. I love salamanders. I love lizards, any reptile, but I love pretty much every animal. I do see we have a lot of people watching the live stream right now. Thank you. This is way more than I am used to, especially for a Planet Zoo stream. Yeah, no, I'm not crazy. It is... Huh. I thought that maybe the OBS plugin that was showing me that was telling me wrong, because I didn't know there were 31 people who still watched Planet Zoo. Kidding. But not. So we're gonna have a little sitting area over here. Trying to figure out how we're gonna work this. Because I need a wheelchair ramp here. That much is pretty obvious, I think. Or not a ramp. Oh, did I say ramp? I meant lift. Because I don't want to spend the amount of space required to put a ramp in, so we could get a cheap wheelchair lift here. Obviously this whole area needs to be terraform the heck out of. We might put the barred owl up. No, because we still got to work on that wall. Sometimes my brain has a hard time visualizing what I'm putting together. Yeah, it's fine. As long as I don't mind people lurking. Now, I really like the idea of using this green that gives it a telephone pole look. Because while we have some higher budget enclosures... Yeah, no, we are going to do that. We're going to have a bird rescue center. So basically, plans right now for how Tri-State is coming along. So we're going to have the Wetland Walk here. So this is like swamps, bayous, and that's going to lead to our Everglades building, which is going to be like right here. And then our Florida Keys aquarium, and Florida Keys and Gulf aquarium is going to be like here. And then this is all going to be like a park. But like somewhere here, we're going to have it's going to be called the Wiregrass Bird Rescue. And we're going to have a big hall based off of a church we went to and so for a wedding. Had a really cool structure to it that I really want to base it off of. But yeah, telephone poles I feel like would be pretty nicely used. I mean, you see it in lower budget zoos all the time. And while we have some high budget builds, this is going to be one of our lower budget aviaries because they're not going to put a ton of work into a small hawk species. So we're going to just create a nice little, I think it's called a mew. And it's pretty, actually, we're going to make it smaller. Pretty sure for... Yeah, thanks, Lucas. Be my cheerleader. I appreciate it. So now, because I'm pretty sure technically recommended for one would be about a 4x4 space. So we're going to do it a little bit larger because Planet Zoo scaling makes you feel like something's way... Should have. Planet Zoo scaling makes you think that something is way smaller than it actually is, in my opinion. Yeah, Monkey's Tavern. Monkey's Tavern's on Twitch, so I do stream on Twitch and YouTube, so if y'all are confused on why I'm talking to people you can't see the chat messages of, that's why. But how's it going, Monkey's Tavern? I feel like this is the perfect place to... Oh yeah, I saw the entrance to that forge. It looks awesome. Nice to hear that, Monkey's Tavern. Yeah, my Planet Zoo 2 project is going to be a zoo set in Africa, which is going to be very, very weird to me. Because I have technically, while this, I guess, another bit of Tri-State lore. You guys, if y'all haven't checked out Forge, he does really great work with like does awesome projects. Like I'm not crazy, right? You helped with the Samudra. But yeah, we do have a small African section. So Tri-State basically took over ownership of like one of those cheap roadside safaris and kind of took over it. Built a barn, which is not complete yet. Yeah, awesome work on all the projects you've been on. Nice. I think it's pretty much thought that it's going to be coming out in I would expect that the Planet Zoo 2 would come out in October of next year, is my assumption. That way it doesn't compete with GTA 6. But you never know. Frontier's done weirder things. I doubt they're gonna do any discount if you had the previous game. In the end, they're trying to make money. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you do. You just get... Leaf just shows up. Oh. Yeah, yeah. It's almost assured for 2026. Well, no, I think it is confirmed. It is confirmed for 26. It's either going to be November or October. And I'm guessing October. It's funny. It might, if it follows Jurassic World Evolution 3, it will launch on my son's birthday, which will be funny. And a little tragic, now that I think about it. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to be able to Planet Zoo 2 when it comes out. If it comes out October 21st. Yeah, no, amazing work. And he got, like the AZA posted about it. Which I know he's working on another one of that style. I do my best to follow AZA guidelines for these. For some of our Raptor enclosures. These are all... Hey, Kenjo. So, these are sort of tried to be based off of AZA requirements for... We've got blue jays, screech owls, and not a red-shouldered hawk. This is a sharp-shinned hawk. But in their interior, we've got the double-door vestibule, which is a requirement for if you're working with birds of prey so that they don't escape. And then we have in this one we have oh yeah. Then we've got an AstroTurf perch, which is required to prevent them from getting bumblefoot. Hopefully, we will have a video on the tour for this building soon. Cause I just gotta wait for my... it's an infection of the foot that is caused by birds of prey in captivity not having enough different kinds of substrate to put their claws in. Um, basically, they can get an infection if they don't have varying perch textures. So you want to give them AstroTurf as one of those options, so that they have hard surfaces and soft surfaces that they can grab onto. Let's see. I feel like this type of mesh works well for this. Yep, that's the goal. Probably do a back wall and a tiny little shed, probably on this side. Trying to figure out how we're going to I should probably post a link to the Discord because we got so many people in if anybody wants to join the Discord. That is a little crazy. My local state park, you have they do falconry in the park as like a way to teaching kind of hunting as a conservation method of getting people interested in conservation, because to get people interested in conservation, you got to get them invested in the wildlife, and hunting is a great way to do that. Because if people are hunting for animals, they want to have the best, like the healthiest animals available. Yeah, it can be tough. It can be real tough. Having an idea and then executing it don't always. So that's not right. All right, thanks, Forge. Appreciate you showing up. It was most. I mean, that kind of gets you to where you want to be. Just yeah, y'all got some cool birds of prey in Australia, like the wedge-tailed eagle, right? That's an Australian species. Obviously, peregrine falcons because they live everywhere except Antarctica. Which we don't have a peregrine falcon yet, and that's upsetting to me. We have a kestrel, but no falcon. We have 2 falconiforms, with a crested caracara, which we still have to build the enclosure for. Oh yeah, barn owl. We also have barn owls. Some of them are. So the one that's going to go in here is going to be made out of pieces, just because we don't have a mod for it. But like the barred owl, which is going to go like. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to put. I don't think I'm putting it there. I think I'm going to put it somewhere down here. That isn't mod. And then we have another modded bird of prey. So this is the. Technically, the mod is the Iberian eagle owl, but oh, where is it? Did we lose it? Eagle. Oh, that's fun. I love that. So we're using the Iberian eagle owl, but it's meant to be a great horned owl. Which the biggest difference is that great horned owls have more yellow eyes. That means they're more active during the day. And then we've got the red-tailed hawk in here. But that's a piece mod. Or not mod, but blueprint item. But yeah, we're going to have barn owls. We're going to transform this space right here into an aviary for our barn. Because it's empty right there. And it fits the theme. Yeah, it really does. So love. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. A lot of these are, not all of them, these are, yeah, me too. It was so long ago. I think I announced that I was expecting a kid when we were working on this barn. Thank you. Yeah, the only thing that's really frustrating. There's no puffins native to my state, unfortunately, so. We do occasionally get auklets, but this is the Florida Cracker Horse. It's technically the Thoroughbred, or American Quarter Horse mod, but we're saying that they're Florida Cracker Horses because they look pretty similar. So they're... Oh yeah, we do. Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Thanks. Oh, I don't know if everyone's seen this, but this is a custom pond that I made. We're really proud of it. Out of the LED pieces to act as a preformed pool. I also really like the fences in here. And I know no one has seen this because I did this off screen, but we started working back on getting the Tri-State Trek operational. And we have a genet habitat. Uh-oh. I assume that that's a species of black widow that y'all have. We have a black widow spider here as well. Thank you, Monkey's Tavern. I do appreciate it. We gotta get it finished before Planet Zoo 2. Yeah, no, they suck. They suck so bad. I really hope we get a better one. Ah, that's fun. See, black widows here are not very dangerous. Which probably means the world, right? Yeah, really. Trust me. I know. I know the pain of pathing. No, it's not this building that was the worst for pathing. It was this fully functional, handicapped accessible ramp, which is just me placing yeah. So basically what I would do is I would take a path piece, then slightly raise it. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's cool, at least. Y'all just are... But basically I kept doing that over and over and over again. Thanks for the follow, Kenjo. Appreciate it. We are having a poppin' stream, and I really like it. I wonder if it's in part due to the thumbnail on the YouTube, because I really was proud of that one. Mainly because I've actually started doing vector art and really enjoying it. Okay, so that kind of gets us to where we've kind of got a bit of an area here. And then... Alright, catch you later, Lucas. I know it's late in Australia or early, one of the two. Thanks for tuning in. I've really been liking these Twilight Wood panels recently. I feel like they really give us this shed look that works great for backstage holdings. And I feel like the grain of this wood just works so well, which is weird to say that green wood works well, but hey, if it works, it works. Yeah, I know. People hate on them. But honestly, it's got some really nice pieces in it. It's just a few like missteps on Frontier's part, but honestly, some of my favorite, like, yeah, no, they can be odd shapes, but I feel like these work great. These work great for like low budget buildings, which is all Tri-State loves. I say low. I feel like we've kind of entered into the medium budget buildings, but yeah, no. My Africa Zoo, once we do PZ2, is probably going to be a lot of concrete slash plaster slash limestone. Because I'm trying to go for a super realistic for I'm not making the building this tall. There's no sense in it. There's no way that this building would be that tall. Oh, hey Steve, and thanks for tuning in. This is a coworker from my work. Well, not mud and thatch. That's not really found in African zoos. That's more found in African themed areas. Um, African zoos have a lot of metal bar and concrete slash stucco. And it's going to be a small zoo. It's going to be like 60 species. I have the whole species list planned out and everything. It's crazy. As opposed to this one where we already have over 100 species in the zoo. Okay, let's see. I don't want it to be super low ceilings. Yeah, I was saying I really like a lot of the packs that people kind of rag on. Ah, I mean that could be fun too. I'm very much not a off the cuff kind of person, so I don't think I would have fun with that. But I could see other people doing that. I like to get a spreadsheet, do a species list, do a lot of research on like what species are most frequent in an area to keep. plus I do it in ZSU, so I get all of my species from other people in ZSU. If you don't know what that is, it's basically it's the AZA of Planet Zoo. Basically, it's a network of zoo simulation parks that you breed your species, you get through different events, stuff like that. It's quite fun, but it's very much a planning kind of game. But Monkey Stubborn, you were talking about doing a drive-through safari build. I think you should do an Asian one with like Indian rhinos and nilgai black buck, because we've got the tools for that now. This is gonna be too small for the Arctic roof, isn't it? Yes, it's gonna. Yeah, I gotcha. Monkey's Tavern. Oh, we're at 47 on the YouTube. Thanks, guys. I know that Lucas Plays was challenging y'all to get us to 45, and we're at 47. Appreciate to everyone who's tuning in on their Saturday evening. It's awesome. Let's get the colors right on this stuff. I think for the door. Oh, shucks. We went with the wrong color. Oh, actually, before we do that, get the... Yeah, my kid's not quite ready for Xbox time, so... He's as old as Jurassic World Evolution 3. That's crazy to say. Remember, I was in the hospital watching Blob play Jurassic World Evolution 3. I didn't grab the color. Because they had me outside of the room because they had to do the anesthesia. I gotcha. Yeah, I gotta teach. I used to play Zoo Tycoon when I was a kid, so I gotta teach my kid to play zoo games, and not just Fortnite and stuff like that. I remember, so I wanted to be a zookeeper for the longest time. And that was my way of kind of becoming a zookeeper. And we didn't know it was a game for the longest time. And so when we found it, I think we bought it from Toys R Us. And we just... Man, I don't remember that. I was just a wee lad. Like, I had to have been so young when we got the game, because I remember Zoo Tycoon 2 coming out. And Zoo Tycoon 2 came out in 2004, I think. 2000. It was probably 2006. I can't imagine us having time to have Zoo Tycoon 1 for a certain amount of time and then getting the different game. That feels mm. Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe it came out in 2008. Maybe Zoo Tycoon 2 came out in 2008. So I would have been 8. That would make more sense. All right, so now I need to create Yeah, I was in college. The game came out 2019, right? So that would have been me as a sophomore in college. And then I took a break from the in between Africa and Zookeeper pack. So a long break. And I was doo-doo at the game back then. Like absolutely awful. So we've come a long way. That's cute. I've got a picture of me and my son have the nursing pillow and him sleeping in it of me playing Jurassic World Evolution 3. That was my way of letting my wife sleep in, take the baby, and go play some video games. Because I'm an early morning person. Feel like this door should be here. Then that works a little bit better. Wish we had more doors that were facing the right way, but it is what it is. We're not really going to do an interior for this building because there's no point. To do an interior for a... Maybe we'll come back to it, but we probably will. I don't think I have because I'm pretty sure I deleted them. Speaking of you, this ain't it, Chief. I hate roofing. It's absolutely my weakest point in Planet Zoo. Like, not a question. This is the thing I struggle with the most is roofing. Heck, my dad is an architect. I'm considering it. Definitely considering it. But the problem is we've got too much. What if we do like a tiny slope? Like that. And then we bring this up like this. Yeah, no, it can be crazy. Like I don't know if you've seen Wyatt Andrew workshops, but his buildings always blow me away. Welcome back, Lucas. We're still working on this shed, but we got to 45, so you called it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Wyatt is great. Highly recommend him. He does very good at especially Midwestern style zoos. Um, his big project is Orwell Zoo. I think it's based in Indiana. Canva, and I use Vector P to make the vector images. I just um, I what do I do? I go over an image of whatever animal it is, and you just kind of grab a few of the most prominent colors and for the thumbnails that I make. Though I also used it for the educational signage in here. Though I'm moving away from that and towards uh, font piece signage and using fun things like the LED pieces and panels and really working at getting better at mastering in-game pieces because I feel like those really give you more flexibility, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, my YouTube thumbnail, um, which I must say I really do like the YouTube thumbnail for today's video. But yeah, it's Canva, just and then you can use the edge effect to or the shadows effect to create that edge, which works really great for it. Makes it stand out a little bit more. But Vector P is a great program if you want to learn vector images, which is the kind of style that is. Get this concrete footer in. I need an American sandwich to get here because he's a zookeeper and he needs to help me with whether something is realistic or not. Especially because he works with birds of prey. Why does it seem like that is? I feel like I messed up with this building, but I'm not going to try and figure out how to fix it. Sketches School. Well, check it out. Okay, so now, let's see. So that gets us pretty good view into the habitat. We need to grab mesh here. We're just gonna line it all this way. Of course, this back wall is going to be probably a rocky cliff, similar to the one we did at our sandhill crane habitat, which I honestly think is one of my favorite habitats. It just looks realistic to me. Which I'll show you. So it's supposed to represent a pine savanna. We've already gotten a look at for a bit, but I think it's this one. Yeah, this is a custom tree by Romano Palacios, and it works really great. We're gonna have signage over here because I used these decals to represent iron, which is really common in Alabama rock. So we're going to have an educational display about the importance of iron mining as part of Alabama's economy and processing, because that's something Alabama has been big on. Let's go with the stained wood. Because I don't really like how long the other one was. And then we'll take this. This. We grab this. And then zookeeper rope. We'll take the 4-meter version. We'll rotate it 45. Grab this. And then this. Now, this is taking me way longer to do than I thought it was going to, but you know, it's fine. I guess I should grab to the color here. A1, A1, A1. You can't rush greatness, right? Can't rush it. So that kind of gets us to the base structure here. Before we do the interior there, actually, you know what? We should just work on interiors of habitats and stuff, because I can do the other stuff off camera. That's no problem for me to do that off camera. Whereas I want to give y'all... We might do a little bit of work on the boardwalk and stuff. We'll probably do the wheelchair lift on camera. But let's create some perches. So let's start off with the Australia bean. Should probably separate this. Now, if y'all have been keeping track of the post that I've been making every day, for this directly correlates with today's post. Obviously, I expect a lot of y'all to be new, so maybe could be conservation, but let's start with maybe we'll do something like that. Let's see. Obviously, the colors are very much a work in progress. If you would, guys, go ahead and like the post that I have been doing, because that really is how we do fundraising for this habitat. Is we do try and do like a fake budget sort of LED. Clear up LED. We do try and do like a role-playing aspect of this zoo, where y'all are in charge of funding habitats, and I do that through my YouTube post. So if y'all would go ahead and like those posts, all of those funding, and for this live stream, all the funding is for this week is going to the Wiregrass conservation bird rescue, Wiregrass bird rescue, because our fundraising for the barred owls was so successful. Note that the fundraising is completely fake. It's just our lore that we've added to the zoo. Posted the Discord link, right? Did I not? That's funny. Maybe it got hid. I don't know. Let me make sure, though. Let me repost that onto both Restream and, or YouTube and Twitch. That's why I didn't see it on YouTube. Let me pin that. So if y'all want to join the Discord and get notifications about what we're doing and be involved in the community that we're working with, join that Discord there. We're at 49 viewers on YouTube right now. Really, really big thank you to everyone. Do appreciate y'all making this stream very successful. Not that success is necessarily measured in views or who's watching, but it's nice, okay? These ones are not the flexi-color ones, right? Yeah. It's the zookeeper ones that we really want. So this is our bumblefoot prevention right here. But yeah, Lucas, if you're still here, I know you were talking about regulations on birds of prey in Australia. Here, zoos can keep, like eagles and stuff, but they can't breed the eagles under the Migratory Bird Alliance or Migratory Bird Act. That's what it's called. Let's change this to a more silver color. I feel like that looks really good. And then this I want to change to like a gray color. And then I think I want to do kind of make it look in place. Make it look like it belongs, and then I'm gonna grab this. Then we're gonna rotate this one a little bit. And then we'll lower this one so we can get a few different perches, like the main perches. Let's see. What else? Let me look up some red-shouldered hawk aviaries. Because I really don't know what needs to go. Well, darn, that's bare. That's making ours current habitat look. And that's a red-tailed hawk, but that's a red-tailed hawk too. Okay. A lot of red-tailed hawks when I looked up red-shouldered, but that's fine. No big deal. Honestly, I might grab our squirrel climbing frames, because... no, never mind. I want to go with something very simple. So let's go with what is it? Branch? No. What is it called? Hey Jess, welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. What's it called? I thought it. No. I'm doing good, Jess. We're working on a red-shouldered hawk aviary. I can't remember what the piece is called. It's in tropical South America, so I guess we can. And then I know it is climbable. Tangled liana. Because this kind of looks like stuff that put like some rope knots there or something to tie that into place. Know what I'm doing, but we're working on it. I feel like that looks too tropical. I feel like we can use these pieces and not look super duper tropical. Yeah, that is a very technical term, super duper. Alright, let's make this into its own separate group. How does that look? Pretty decent. I think. pretty decent. Let's see. Okay. Kind of got some branches in there. Let's grab one of our branches sets, which we have in our beaver enclosure. This might work as well. Just to clutter a bit, but we don't want to go too crazy because we want flight lanes to be open still. That one's a little too big. I think we have some smaller ones as well. Actually, I think the smaller ones are in here. Yeah. Let's get this going. So if they're ever on the ground, they can also hop onto perch. I feel like that's pretty decent. I think there's one other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this is fully predator proof. So let's grab like we're gonna make like a flashing. Like a metal flashing that's just hopefully going to blend in pretty well. See about that. You can have it painted the go-away green color. That should help, but that's just going to keep things like raccoons, opossums, foxes, coyotes, things like that from breaking in. And potentially killing a bird that was rescued from something. I don't really have the story behind this specific guy in our park, but would have been rescued from something. So if y'all have any ideas for what we might have gotten this guy from, whether it be a falconer who wasn't able to train him properly, or anything really, but just give me some ideas. I think we want something at the top as well. We probably want the We'll make this actually haven't really been liking these cast iron pieces. So this kind of can work as a get it bolted into the corrugated metal, I guess. I don't know. Oh, come on. Yeah, how's everyone's week's been? I had a good week. Nothing too crazy. Good, nice. Had a bit of a slow week. I haven't felt really motivated at work this week. So next week I need to come in and really get a lot done. Luckily, the stuff I need to get done isn't due for a while, but it still needs to get done. I feel bad not getting it done. Yeah, I know. It's been crazy today. I mean, I'm hoping it's not all bots, but, you know, view time is view time. Not that for the people who are on YouTube, I'm not saying you're bots. I'm just skeptical, because that's very unusual. Very unusual for my YouTube to have that much on a live stream. For playing a zoo especially. Sometimes it happens for Total War Warhammer, but I ain't looking no gift horse in the mouth. Let's grab like a food bowl. Like right there, its main food bowl. We're not doing interiors. We're not doing interiors for this build. We don't have to do an interior for every single build. This is gonna be a animal made out of pieces, because I don't have mods for this species. What's the hawk's back? I feel like we may have had a red-shouldered hawk. Rough-legged. We do not. Unless one of these or fish of North America. I guess I should check Steam, make sure there's no specific piece for these guys, because it would make it a lot easier if I didn't have to adjust it myself. Red-tailed hawk, Callum's bird of the world. Yeah, nothing's shouting out on it. This is Wetlands bird tagged by Robustus. I think there's really any. Yeah, I think we might be out of luck. Bunch of ducks. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. But no, it's fine. We'll just take the red-tailed hawk and we'll adjust. Alright, catch you later, Monkey's Tavern. Thanks for tuning in. So let's look at red-shouldered hawks. Um, and then the shouldered part kind of comes more here. We get like a orangish color. All the way up to like here. And this piece, it's more, this piece here is more black. And then these pieces, this is more yellow. And then this is more of an orangish brown. The legs are more of a bright yellow as well. But that should be our red-shouldered hawk. Now I just gotta figure out. I think I'm gonna be more realistic. Shove them over here. Yeah. And then let's actually color the concrete to a similar color, to the same color as this. Blend it in more with that. There we go. Let's grab like a that. We'll grab random rotation. Grunge. Probably put like a wheelbarrow over here. Let's see. Get this going along here. Probably makes the most amount of sense. Obviously, we'll want poop because it's a bird on concrete. Of course, we'll want some signs as well. Probably go with a little bit more rustic signs. And then we also probably want to put some enrichment style stuff in here. Look at it from the guest perspective. It's pretty mucky. Let's go ahead and grab the poop decal from over here because it works pretty darn well. That's a little too much. Maybe a little on the edge here. So a few spots here and there, but nothing too crazy because we do obviously there's going to be cleaning in this zoo. Oh, we probably want to turn random rotation off. Let's see. Just put a few of these floor drains here. And then these just to emulate the water would go off of these, out of these. We'll put like a gravel bed here with maybe some foliage as well. Kind of absorb that. Then of course we need a hose, because they have to be able to clean it. We'll grab this conservation wheelbarrow. So that's not in the way, but it's... Maybe we want it a little bit... a little bit more side there. And back to the random rotation. Think. Do it. We bring the boardwalk out this way. And it will come down this way. Yeah. We'll have the Raptor Aviary here. But I probably want to spread it out a little bit more. I don't know that we're going to get to the Raptor today. I want to try and get a good amount of this area finished today's stream. I can do some of the more fine detail work. Off camera, but I'd like to get some of it done on camera. Let's make a wheelchair lift. Yeah. It's a very cool game. The fact all the stuff you can have in this game is awesome. It's not for everyone, but there is a lot you can do with it. All right, let's go back to looking at reference images for wheelchair lifts. That looks pretty much how I thought it would. See. Let's get this the right color. Shoot, that's not flexi color. But it is exactly what I want it to look like. So I think I will deal with it. Of course, I could make this the kind of uglier white color. Let's see. If we did this as that. Let's see. That's not even what it looks like if I'm looking at it. We want no. I'm making a wheelchair lift. Which is totally not functional or anything like that, but it adds a bit of detail. That's always helpful. See if we can get this all to line up nice there. And then we'll close this down like so. Let's get rid of that because it's not really necessary anymore. And then grab this. This is going to be quite interesting. Trying to create the grooves here. I guess I could do this with something else. Let's see. Let's make this like a darker color. Okay, then we move this up. Probably want to make sure we get the full box in first. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. Grab all this. Sorry, I'm being quiet. Just trying to focus up. Let's see. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now we just need to create the actual ramp lift part and the buttons for it. Okay, so we're probably going to use an LED panel. Let's see. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, I think. LED strip. Now I need this. That I can try and get a little bit structure put into it. Grab this, we'll grab this. Then we'll just grab this over here. Then we'll grab this, bring it down. Let's get that in there. Um, let's see. Yeah, still here, still here. I'm gonna be here for another half hour. We're making a wheelchair lift. I'm wanting to say ramp. Since we don't have enough room for a lawn. We don't have room for a ramp, really. So we're making do. Yeah. We're doing good. I mean, we still got a good bit of people there. But and as it gets a little bit later, at least for us Americans, I would kind of expect the LED pieces are just so good. They are by far my favorite pieces. I probably use them. Well, that's nice. I guess. So yeah, we made our red-shouldered hawk. The enclosure, I think, looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy. We might put up some mirrors and stuff. Let's see. Really don't know how to do this. Zookeeper rope. Like, how does that ramp thing work? Let's see, where'd it go? Looks like it's just kind of hooked in. We probably need to have a control box here. little bit too large. Let's see, can we grab everything that's in here? And then not really. LED sign. Of course, that was wrong. Let's get this all in line. Let's move this over yonder. This is getting there. Again, sorry if my talking isn't as good right now. I'm focused up on this. But I think we should be almost done. Almost done. Then we need to do the call it down button, the call it up button, and this. This. And there we go. And this we of course change to a black color so that it looks that. Then we bring this over, probably like here. Need to move this back. We'll grab this, move it like so. Let's see if I can get by with doing something like this. Yeah, I like the look of that. Then we'll just need a box here. LED tube. Tube. Needs to be tube. Then we'll just grab that. And I want this to be red because yay, gold. And this I want to. That looks sick. Okay. Let's get that kind of. And third time's the charm. Um, just bring that in line here. We can really get this side of the boardwalk at least pretty much finished. Alright, come on. Let's get this in like so. Let's see. Alright, let's move this in like so. I kind of want to bring this out to like here. Because then I can bring that in line there. There. Kind of get this area starting to be fleshed out. Probably barred owl, gonna be down here, and then it will go into our bald eagle. That will be some probably, so it will come around here. Then we'll have the bald eagle aviary like here, and then one more aviary. I think just one more in the wetlands wall. And I think this will continue this way to become the treetop trail. Might actually veer this. We'll see. Let's see. Get that in line there. That in line there. Select these. Let's raise this as far as we can. And then let's bring one more. Okay, we're kind of getting to the wrapping up stage, if that makes sense. It's time to start working on things that we can finish reasonably in the time we have left. Zookeeper rope. Then we'll just bring this over here. This, bring this up. And then we'll have like it's under facilities, we'll have a guest barrier. fashion. We just don't want people walking under while it's moving. Oh, cool. I was gonna say I'm guessing based off of your name that you are a YouTuber. I will go follow you after the stream. There's not enough Planet Zoo YouTubers. I'm about to start doing some more educational content as well about more just like species in general. But we're not done with this. We gotta do yeah, do just bring this like so. I want to do some mesh. Probably paint this that white color. That feels properly low budget. But high enough budget to have a lift, I guess. Twilight wood. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like barn owls. They're cool. I've never seen one, except at my local zoo, but that doesn't really count. Okay, I'll take a look. Next week, I'll be posting some facts about American barn owls. I don't know if they're any different. Oh, cool. I got to pet a kestrel recently. And I could have held it, but I was too cowardly slash in awe of I was getting to hold some reptiles as well. Some snakes. I love snakes, so come on. Stupid tree. Thank you. I do like to hear that. Stupid trait. trying to figure out if I need a... I feel like that's fine. So then you can come down here. You get a glimpse of the herons. Not a great look, but they're not the stars of the show over here necessarily. Let's see. Alright. Oh, we don't have long. I'm going to just get some screenshots once I place these down. Yeah. Some screenshots. Once this area is more filled out, it will look better, of course. I'm going to try and do some of that off camera. Probably tomorrow morning. Most of our work has been on this here. But I'll probably add some dirt and stuff here later, but that's gonna have to be it for now, guys. I really do appreciate it. Let me see if there's anyone I should raid on the Twitch. Anyone I know. Anyone I know specifically playing Planet Zoo. No. And yeah. Alright. Well, thanks guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I feel like we got a lot done. Even though we didn't get a ton done, we got enough done that we made some good progress. So thanks guys for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all later. Be sure to subscribe to get notifications for when I'm streaming next. You too, Jess.